All right. Good evening. Good evening. It's Daryl James once again with the bridge. This is this is a really tonight for me is a really serious and hot issue because right now the nation is changing. America's changing. There's a lot about it that's changing, and I think that African Americans right now are struggling to not only find our place in this society because our place in society is changing, but we're also struggling to find our relationship with America. And we do need to reassess our relationship with this nation. And that's what tonight's live is going to be about how blacks today need to reassess our relationship with America. And a friend of mine was posting on Facebook about how African Americans are shocked at what's going on in the nation's capital. Preston James, what's up, big brother? Good evening. Good evening. Yeah, Tiara Jones was posting about how African Americans are shocked at what's going on in the nation's capital. And they shouldn't be shocked, shouldn't be shocked at all. But people are shocked. They're like, oh my God, those white people are storming the Capitol and nobody's getting shot and killed. They're not mowing them over. They're not tear gas and they're not. Why would they? They're white. I mean, these are allies. These are white people who are going in there going crazy. And we know now, those of us who are aware, not woke, I don't even use that, those of us who are aware, who are conscious, we know that many of the demons in blue are friends with the demons who want to disrupt the nation, who are racist, who are crazy. And that's why you get a lot of passes for white people who are going nuts. That's, they're staying on code. If we had more black people on the police force, particularly more black people who really, really are concerned about other black people, we'd see a lot more of us staying on code as well. In fact, we do see some. I'm not going to even front. There are some officers, black officers, who stay on code, who do look out for other black people, who actually serve and protect black people. So let's be real about that. But yeah. So anyway, so Tierra's post sparked something with me because I'm like, black people can't see whites storming the Capitol and not being harmed and immediately understand that's because of white privilege. That's because the white cops, the white whoever, whether it's the militia or whatever, they're going to stay on code and be gentle, be understanding, and have empathy. Because otherwise, why were those pieces of shit allowed to? I mean, one bastard who should have been shot in the brain broke into Nancy Pelosi's office and was in there chilling. Like, shoot that motherfucker. But that's not what we're dealing with. And I think, I want to give an overall perspective here on what's going on in America right now. It started with Barack Obama. And so, spoiler alert, if some of you really love that dude and you think he's the magic Negro, you should probably turn right now because I'm going to speak the truth. Barack Obama came in and had an opportunity. He campaigned for change and he had an opportunity to create some change. But instead, what he wanted to do was hold hands and sing kumbaya with everyone. And so he lost everyone's respect except black people. You guys still love him. I don't. He wanted to sing kumbaya with everyone, and the Republicans tore his asshole out every chance they could. The reason why Barack got elected is not because you 13% of Edson Mock Morgan, Mock the minister. He said he stole some mail and then left. My man. Let's talk about why Barack even got elected. It's not because you people who are 13% of the population elected him. You did come out and vote. But Barack got elected because Americans wanted some change. They wanted someone who was not part of the establishment to come in and make change. That's why he got elected, because they're like, well, hell, if we want change, how much change, how much more change can you get than having an African American president, which he's not. He's not truly African. Well, I guess he's African American. Whatever he is. Anyway, I don't even want to get into that and go down that rabbit hole. But let's be real. Barack got in because he talked about change, and so people thought he was going to come in. They thought he was going to be radical and make some changes and do some things, but he didn't. He just came in. He tried to hold hands with everybody. He didn't want to kill anything and didn't want to let anything die. So he got elected, he got reelected. The Republicans pushed him around. The Democrats were as timid as he was. And so you got 8 years of bullshit. Did he do some stuff for the country? Yes, he did. But I'm a black nationalist. He didn't do shit for me. What he did was, and he was honest with me. He was honest with black folks. He said, a rising tide floats all boats. So you're going to get something because of the things I'm doing for other people. They will affect you. But I'm not going to do anything for you directly because I don't give a shit. So the reason why I'm going all the way back to Obama is because I think black people need to understand why Trump was elected. Because I think black people are still confused. They think that Trump was just, a freak anomaly, which he kind of was, but then he turned into something. Now here's where I'm really going to piss you people off if you love Barack the Magic Negro to the point where you can't use your brain. Trump was elected for the same reason Barack Obama was elected. Yeah, I said it. I said it. And I'll explain it, but I'm going to say it again. Trump was elected for the same reason Barack Obama was elected. And that's because people wanted change. Now, people wanted change, but our two-party system is so broken, so morally bankrupt, so just bankrupt of everything. They don't have any life. They don't have any real goals and real missions. So there was no real candidate on either side. So that's why it was easy for someone like Trump to step in and say, hey, I'm a businessman. He looked for allies, couldn't really find any, and he looked at the people who have been ignored for the last 40 to 50 years while America was trying to be a non-racist nation. That's the front that they were presenting to the world. So all the racists were told, hey, look, we're not doing that right now. If you're going back down to Alabama, you can kill some Negroes, but you can't come out in public and talk about that and do that. So the nation has been kind of cool, pretending to be kind of cool for a long time. So Trump saw he can have allies with these crazy two-teeth cousin fucking bastards and bitches down in the South. And that's who he formed his alliance with. And that's who helped to kind of buoy him and carry him in there. But once he started to get some momentum, Republicans, because, they vote party, they basically supported him. And so he got in because people thought there was going to be change. Now, he did make some changes. He opened up the nation to being ugly, ignorant, and racist again. And he was really kind of pushing his own agenda, which was benefiting rich white Americans. And he also, because he was representing the racist, or so they thought, he allowed them to think that he had an agenda that had them in mind. But they're stupid. And so, I mean, you got to be stupid to be racist anyway. And so they didn't even understand that he didn't like them either, that he was cutting them as much as he was cutting anybody else so that he could benefit rich white Americans. So where am I going with this? We have to reassess our relationship with America. We have to understand who we are, understand our place. And here's our place. As a group, we are not a group of people that America wants to respect. We're not a group of people that America wants to take care of. We are not a group of people that America wants to protect. And we have to understand that. But we are a group of people that America wants to use. And so the Democratic Party used us because black people, just like everybody else, they realized look, we got to get out of the pandemic. And, black people who are not crazy racists, because some of us are and we hate ourselves, but those of us who are not crazy racists also knew it's a good idea to get Trump out of there because he's not that smart. He, who let the dogs loose? He let all the dogs loose. He brought all the races. Justin Timberlake with his ignorant ass said he was bringing sexy back. Trump said he's bringing racism back. So all of that came into play, and people knew, okay, cool, we got to get out of here, and we got to make Trump go away. And so we did. So we got Biden elected, and we thought that immediately we would go back to being civil with each other. But it's going to get worse before it gets better, and that's what's going on in the nation's capital, because all of those people who they didn't get anything, the poor white people, the poor white trash. Danielle Holland, that's right, all the way back, baby, all the way back. Edson is the homie, yeah. Um, they didn't get anything more than blacks did. The two teeth cousin fuckers down south, they got screwed, but they're still too stupid to know it. So they thought because Trump is holding on for dear life, trying to hold on to the presidency, even though it's been gone. It's been gone since November, and he knew it. But his followers think that they have a chance to bring it back for him. They think that they have a chance to kind of hold on for him. Sean Berry, what's up, sister? And so that's what's happening at the White House. So they watched not only Trump get his ass kicked, but then they watched the two senators in Georgia get their asses kicked so that evil, demonic piece of dog shit, Mitch the bitch, loses his job. He's no longer the majority leader. Now he's the minority leader. A lot of things that the Democrats want to do, they'll be able to do it easier because they have, the entire Congress. They have the House and the Senate. The Senate is split 50-50, but the way that works is that Kamala, vice president, breaks the tie. So she can side with the Democrats. So basically, they have a 50 majority. So they can do some things. But anyway, so when we start talking about our relationship with the nation, here's what we have to understand. Those crazy white people who stormed the Capitol are trying to hold on to something that they don't even have. We don't even do that. We don't even do that. We basically are hoping that someone else will do it for us. Richard Mosley, what's up, Ricky? It's my cousin. Um, we're hoping that someone else does it for us, and they're not. And that's why we have to reassess our relationship with America, because we have allowed them, and I'm going to go and talk to black women. We allowed, or black women, you allowed the Democratic Party to put a cape on your back and tell you that you basically saved America. You saved the election. You saved this. You did this. You did that. And you allowed them to take Stacey Abrams and put a cape on her back and say, yes, she saved Georgia. So let me tell you why that's a problem. Daniel says the supremacists want to keep their boots on all of our necks. Rat bastards, you damn right. Even other whites, even poor whites. This election shows the world who we are not. Absolutely. So here's the problem with the Democratic Party telling black women that they're magic and telling black people that they saved the election and that they did this and did that. The problem is twofold. Number one, it's just not true. Did we come out and make a difference? Absolutely. Blacks always make a difference. We over 90% of us voted, right? We got out there, we did our thing, but nobody talks about the fact that maybe like 40 something percent of Hispanics voted for Trump because they use us and they put a good face on it. And they're like, look, these people have been downtrodden and they've been, beaten and battered and bruised, but they still love the Democratic Party. And so we're being used. And so when they say that blacks did this, that, and the third, I'm going to tell you in a minute why that's a problem. The other reason why it's a problem. But the biggest reason why it's a problem is because they keep pushing black women out there and then trying to act like black men are problematic. Stop, sisters, you got to stop letting yourselves be used like that. We don't have a problem with black girl magic or you're strong, you're doing your thing, but don't let them push you out there and say that you're strong and beautiful to the detriment of black men, because we're getting out there and we're doing our thing too. But here's why it's a huge problem, because for all the bullshit they've done to put a black face out there and saying blacks helped to save the Democratic Party, they've done this, they've done that, they still don't give a shit about us. They don't give a damn. Because look, now I know a lot of you listened to the Democrats when they told you to cancel Ice Cube, and you need to kick yourself in the ass. You're a piece of shit for dogging that brother. And here's why. Ice Cube was representing something that plenty of us were interested in, which is having a discussion with whoever the president is about giving tangibles to African Americans. Personally, and I know this sounds crazy because I'm a black nationalist, I've never been in support of reparations. And here's why. Tony Brown said it, and I believe it. He said, I don't know what white people owe us, but I know one thing, they're not going to give it to us. So continuing to push for reparations was never going to work. The only thing that was going to work and eventually will work is to ask for tangibles that make sense, that we know we can get. Giving everybody a check, that's not going to work. I said over 20 years ago, reparations would be a failure because not even all the factions that were pushing for reparations could agree. It was problematic. And if we can't all agree, then how do we think that anyone else is going to agree? And just going to the government in and of itself was problematic. I agree with Ice Cube that the government owes us. I think his contract with Black America was beautiful, but I don't even think that that's going to work because, as we can see, someone's going to say, you niggas sit down and y'all going to sit down. And because they told Ice Cube to sit down, and black people said, yeah, Ice Cube, you sit down, not realizing that there was nothing bad about what he was doing, and there was no bad outcome from what he would have achieved if he had actually had the support of the black community. So again, in terms of reassessing our relationship, because that's what this is about, reassessing our relationship with America, we have to start understanding how people view us, because they view us as, bad children. Just tell them to go away. Did I have problems with Ice Cube's approach? Yes, I have a problem with the fact that he had two of the most intelligent brothers in our community, Boyce Watkins and Claude Anderson, Dr. Watkins, Dr. Anderson, who helped him construct the contract with Black America and then sent him out there by himself. Now, Ice Cube's not a dummy, but he's not the most polished person that we could have had. Those brothers should have went out there with him. So that's the thing, the mistake, I think. All this other stuff that people are saying, oh yeah, he got played. Shut the fuck up. That sound you sound like idiots when you say he got played. No, they used him like they use everybody else. They're going to figure out a way to circumvent everything that we want. But when I say they, I'm not talking about Trump and the Republicans. I'm talking about the white establishment. Because the Democrats did the same thing. While they told your asses to go vote and you did it, they also told you, we ain't giving you shit. And you were saying, oh yeah, but they got this plan and that plan. So here's the plan they've got. I see what you're saying, D. It's a matter of semantics. Call it something else. That's right, Danielle. Because look, here's the deal. Biden has, before he hasn't even been inaugurated yet, he already made promises to the LGBT community. And he said, and I want to really spend some time on this next point. He said that as soon as he gets in, he's going to create a path to citizenship for the illegal immigrants. I'm going to say it again. Biden promised that he will create a path to a quick path to citizenship for the illegal immigrants. Now, here's what that means. It means Well, I'll tell you what it don't mean. It doesn't mean that Jamaican immigrants, Dominican immigrants, Haitian immigrants, African immigrants, it don't mean none of them. Let's be clear. It means the immigrants who aren't us, particularly from South America, from south of the border, because America has had an unholy relationship with Mexico and other Southern American nations since the 80s. And so what they've done is that they've displaced you and they've gotten you to speak their rhetoric because a bunch of you are just so fucking gullible. They've got black people running around saying, "Oh, them Mexicans, they took the jobs we didn't want." Stop saying that because it's bullshit. They took jobs you were on. You were on those jobs. Stop saying that. You were cleaning toilets, you were sweeping, you were mopping, you were doing all of these jobs that they came and took from you because in the 80s I watched. They came and took from you because they agreed to work for way less than minimum wage. So why is that a problem? Here's why it's a problem. Because now there are millions and millions of illegal immigrants in here. They are going to be given a quick path to citizenship and they are going to jump in line ahead of African Americans. That's what's going to happen. Well, it's already happening. It's already happening because a president who said blacks stood behind me and helped me to get to the White House has already made promises to illegal immigrants. Now, let me put another two on it and underscore what I just said. Illegal immigrants. What does that mean? They're criminals. They're in the country illegally. You're not. You're in this country legally because you built the damn country and you can't get anything that you really want and need. These people who are in the country illegally keep getting preferential treatment. You gotta let that sink in. And let me go back to the original premise of this today's show, which is black people need to reassess their relationship with America. We have to, because what's happening is that we continue to get used, we get pushed around, and we're getting played. We're getting played because America owes us. There's a debt, but we can't get that debt paid because we continue to play by whatever rules they tell us, and the rules continue to change. At some point, what we're going to have to do is to go back to where Brother Malcolm was and where Brother King was going, which is to sue America before the world court and force America to pay. We have to sue America jointly and severally with the banks, with the original families who benefited from slavery. And that's where like the ADOS movement got lost and turned out. It was a good proposition initially, but it fell apart because it started getting confused. Danielle says, I don't have an issue with the dreamers becoming citizens. I'm a product of immigrants. They're here illegally, not by their choice. I won't spend too much time on that. Maybe I'll do another show, but let me just say this, Danielle. When the first few families came in and their children, they ended up in cages or ended up being torn away from them, the flow should have stopped. And it didn't. They continued to run in here and bring their children, knowing what would happen. And they continued to come in and try to create anchor babies. And so I think that at some point, America has to say enough is enough, right? Now, if you're the product of immigrants, Danielle, and I don't remember because I don't know if we ever talked about this in the millions of years I've known you, but I don't think your people came here illegally and then were just jumped in the way the dreamers are about to be jumped in. And not just the dreamers, a lot of other people who didn't come here as children, who weren't trapped here, who just came in here and they've been here 20, 30 years and don't even speak English. But aside from that, again, I don't want to get too caught up in that issue. Aside from that, even if we don't have a problem with it, it's not our fight. It's not our fight. And again, reassessing our relationship, you say, yes, they did. They just walked off a boat. Well, glad they did, because not very many who look like us, Danielle, just walked off a boat and were still able to make it happen and become citizens. That's my overarching uh, point, that we have a harder time when we have, because when we talk about the boat people from the 80s, just Google that. They weren't from Mexico. But again, I don't want to get too bogged down in that issue, because the whole point that I'm making here is that we're fighting for these people. They keep standing in line ahead of us, because already the thing that's happening is that Biden hasn't said, hey, black people, as soon as I get in, there's going to be massive police reform. I'm going to make sure that the attorney general prosecutes the shit out of these bastards who killed you. If he said that, man, I'd have on a Biden Harris t-shirt tomorrow. But he has already put illegal immigrants ahead of African Americans. We're here. We built this country. How can anybody jump ahead of us? And the LGBT community don't want to go down that rabbit hole either, but they have already jumped ahead of us because he's made promises to them. Where are the promises for African Americans? Why are we in this nation? We're the earliest people in this nation. Well, quite frankly, we came before Columbus. Let's get that out of the way. But those of us who were brought here and made to be slaves, we've been here since the beginning, and we're still fighting for basic rights. Basic rights. We have to reevaluate our relationship with America, because we're getting screwed. We have to get to the point where we understand we do a lot, and for what we do, we have to get a lot. We got to get something. We have to get something, because right now we're just getting pushed around. We're the pawns on the table. They're just moving us around. They're saying these people are going to do this, these people are going to do that, and we don't get anything. And so I think today for me, when I was watching these psychotic white folks run around in the nation's capital, in the Capitol building, with very little repercussions. And then I saw, and I gotta say, but I'm trying to do things differently these days. Apparently, a white woman was shot during the whole melee, and some black people were saying, "Oh, I don't care, I don't care," and some, psychotic Negroes, "Oh no, we have to care." We gotta stop that. Can we care about us? All we have is us. Can we care about us? In reassessing um, our relationship with the nation, we have to do a couple of things. We have to decide who is going to represent us. And if that's going to be Ice Cube, let it be Ice Cube. If it's going to be Dr. Watkins or Dr. Anderson, let it be them. Stop letting them throw people at you. Because as soon as they wanted to discredit Ice Cube, they wouldn't got that little ignorant piece of shit Lil Wayne. Why would any of you put him on the same level as Ice Cube? He's trash, and he's been trash. For me, I'm going to be honest, and I was one of the foremost advocates for hip hop. But for me to see that Biden wouldn't meet with anyone serious from the African American community, but then, oh my God, Cardi B actually got to interview him. That should tell you everything that you need to know about what America thinks about you. Because this little, nice, Daryl, this filthy piece of shit is about as low as you can go, and she got an audience with the president elect, presidential candidate before he was presidential, the president elect. But no one could get an audience to talk to him about tangibles for African Americans. Like, think about these things, black people. Think about it, because they're thinking about it. These things are absolutely real. Let me make sure I'm covering everything before I Get out of here. I wanna know um, if African Americans, if Black people understand that the nation is changing, that things have to change, that the nation changed under Trump, the nation changed under Barack Obama, the nation is about to change again. You can't really put Jack back in the box. Trump woke up all those racists who were down just feeling like I need to be quiet about it. I'll hang me a nigger if I get a chance to, but I can't talk about it. He woke all of them up. They're not going back to sleep anytime soon. You're not gonna have, so you got the president that you wanted. They've got control of Congress. There aren't any excuses. You may get your $2,000 stimulus check, but you're not going to get anything else, Black people, until you understand who you are and understand your relationship with America, which isn't a good relationship. It's not going to be a good relationship because it's not designed to be a good relationship. They need us to be in the position that we're in so that they can continue to move pieces around the table. And so at some point, since we don't have any leaders anymore. I mean, we didn't have Jesse and Al. They weren't leaders. Our alphabet soup um, organizations, the NAACP, the Urban League, all of their trash. I think the black fraternities and sororities are trying to hold on to the last vestiges. And I don't give a damn what anybody thinks. I'm an alpha man, proud alpha man. But those organizations, they have problems. I think the black church has problems. Every institution that used to be a strong institution for the black community is problematic. The black community in and of itself is problematic. It barely exists because we let anybody come in and let them do what they want to do, but we don't really understand. Danielle says this election showed the world who we are not. I'm not sure what you mean by that, sister, because I think that the world still looks at us as the fools that we are, to continue to let, I mean, Biden is not our best and brightest, baby. He's just not. Biden just happens to be better than Trump. Biden is a racist. He has shown himself to be racist. He's damn near 80 years old. I don't even know if he's going to make it through 4 years. So I think that's going to continue to be a problem. Lovely Brown says, "What is the solution?" Well, maybe I can do a show and talk about some solutions, but there is no solution. There's no panacea. There's no one thing that we can do that's just going to be the magic touchstone. But part of the solution for black people is to be black and be together and start moving as African Americans and not say, well, I'm going to go over here and be, with these people. We have the black brown unity, which is bullshit. We got to stop all of that. We got to stop advocating for other people and advocate for ourselves. So that's part of the solution, but there's no one solution. That was the whole thing I was saying about um, reparations. That reparations, even as a black nationalist, reparations was always problematic for me because there were just way too many people talking about, oh, we should get a check or we should get student loans forgiven or we should give that. That's why I liked the Contract with Black America, and there are a few other people who are kind of coming to solutions and situations like that, where we can start to create tangibles that make sense, that the country can do, that the country can make happen without just saying, let's give everybody a check. Preston James says, be black first and always. That's a huge part of the solution. Be black first and always. That's when I was doing my top 10 New Year's resolutions. That's what I was talking about. That we're all we got. We got to start working together, supporting black businesses. We got to start being nicer to each other. We got to have more empathy, more kindness for each other. We have to start recognizing each other, saying hello. We got to stop the bullshit in relationships so that we can have more relationships and get to a point where we can have more marriages, more families. All of those are powerful solutions. And it's not even right for me to say, even if I did answer your question, Lovely Brown, and said, here's what the solution is, that wouldn't be fair because I'm one person. I think we all have solutions that we can all start bringing together. Um, yeah, so again, I'm happy Biden got elected. I'm happy the two senators won in Georgia because Mitch, the bitch, I was hoping Corona would come and take him to his father, which art in hell, but that didn't happen. I think Biden has a better plan. Well, Trump didn't have a plan, so Biden has a plan to bring us out of the pandemic. I mean, so all of that is fine, but there still has to be some real reassessing of Black people's relationship with this country, and that's what tonight was about. I saw all of that mess going on in the nation's capital, and I know that I was watching the discussions, and Black people don't know, a lot of us anyway, don't know what to make of it. We don't understand what's going on in the country. We don't understand who we are, what our relationship is with the country, and we got to figure it out because we have to start doing some different things. America's not going to do anything different, and if we didn't see that with 8 years of a Black president, then some of you just will never understand it because that's when things should have changed. That's when we should have gotten the most, but that's actually when we got the least. So again, we have to start, and everyone who's gonna watch this and discuss this, I need you to do two things. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe and then hit the bell, which will make sure you get notifications. If you're on Facebook, I need you to share, 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 share. So yeah, so everyone who sees this now and who sees it later, we have to start thinking about ourselves. We got to put Black people first. Preston James says we need to take care of ourselves no matter which party is in control. That's right. That's right. That's why it was so confusing for me that people had such a vicious reaction to anyone who said they were going to go and talk to Trump. I know it was a joke for Steve Harvey to go talk to Trump. He's a joke anyway. I was like, what's he going to do? Tell him some jokes? But we should have had some, people like our politicians. And I don't know if people know, but the Congressional Black Caucus was told by Nancy Pelosi not to meet with Trump. How the fuck did she tell these people who are supposed to be our representatives what they do or not do, what they can and cannot do? But that's what happened. So whoever is in office, red or blue, they look. America owes us, and the only way they're going to pay is if we're unified. We got to start putting ourselves first. Thank you, Danielle. Yeah, so thank you to everybody who was in here tonight. Let's continue this discussion. I'm probably going to do another one tomorrow, but please like it, share it, share it, share it, so we can go far and wide. And remember, put Black first. Put yourself first. Put Black people first. Everybody else puts their own people first. We're the only ones who don't. We're the only ones who start talking about unity with other people, but everybody else puts themselves first, and that's what we need to do too. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you. Edson says we need to create our own super PAC. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. We gotta be Black first. All right. All right. So anyway, thanks for watching. Like I said, I'll probably do another one tomorrow. Join me. Good night.